Welcome back to Overexerted, a Disney Lorcana podcast. I'm your host, Benny, and with me, as always, is James.
Hello. You're questioning the status here of what this podcast is about. Are we going to go off the rails and not
We'd
talk
never
about?
go off the rails.
We're not going to talk about Disney and Lorcana this time.
Oh, we only ever talk about Disney Lorcana. Speaking
Only
of which, I'm going to jump in early into this
early.
episode and shout out my local game shop, Tombkeeper Cards. Let's just say we're going to have something new in the background here pretty soon. I've got it right here for the quick reveal.
Wow. Nice.
Yeah.
That's cool. I don't even have one of those.
So if you're in the area of Mission, British Columbia, I think he also was saying that the Tinkerbell could possibly be a set champs prizing item.
That's pretty cool because I mean it matches the card that's going to be. I mean, not the same version, but I'd be happy walking out with that.
I'm not gonna lie, I love Darkwing Duck, but I was kind of like, could I swap out for that Tinkerbell instead?
or isn't there one of the other ones, the Stitch?
Yes, yeah. I think the Stitch was already spoken for.
I'd probably want the Stitch.
Yeah.
Tell them to send that one down this way.
I'll fold it up. I'll mail it to you.
Yeah. Fold it up.
Yeah.
For those who don't know, all OP stores got 3 oversized cards in their OP package for marketing and stuff. So it was Darkwing and Stitch and Tinkerbell.
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty cool.
I have it here because I need to measure it out. So I want to get it framed, obviously.
Right.
I feel like that's the best way to mount it up on the wall, not stab a bunch of holes through the corners.
Yeah. Good idea.
So it might be up next week. If not, I have something else that is also going to be hung up next week that I think some other content creators, I don't think I've seen anybody else with one. So this will be exciting. I've had it for a while and I've just never hung it up. And then somebody's like, how come you've never put that up? It'd be great on the pod. And I'm like, I guess so.
Yeah.
So look for that next episode, because
there might not necessarily be next week.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I guess it's only the 19th. I was like, at some point I do need to slow down on recording so I can practice more before going to
before Calgary. Yeah.
And let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, I've been practicing. And there's a reason why there might not be a week of episodes. I definitely need a lot more practice.
And also, you might swap your deck 14 times before the event, and you need to practice on whatever new deck you switch to, right?
So I started practicing on Baja. I went to League this week, and one of my opponents said, oh, well, let's see what your deck is. Let's see if you actually stick true to what you were saying on the podcast. I can't wait to play against Baja with my Blurple deck to see how it stacks up. And I went, I'm not playing Baja anymore. And he said, already? I said, yeah, I swapped over to Steel Song because it was working out better for me. After going 2-8 and 10 games with Baja, I decided it was time to swap. And I think I went past 2 and I think I went over 10 games, but I had a lot more losses, and I think I only had 2 or 3 wins. And so I swapped. Went to Steel Song, and I had in 25 games, 17 wins and 8 losses. And I said, wow, this is the deck for me.
That's a lot better.
And now I've been losing all the time. I just can't stop losing. I don't know what's going on. Actually, I do know what's going on. Some weirdo out there has started playing Amber Ruby. Like, what are you doing? You can't take that to a DLC or a CCQ. Who are you trying to beat? You trying to beat all the Steel Song players out there? All three of us? You need to play
Uh,
against dogs.
I think it
It's
was.
the
I think
dogs
it
you
was
got to
meant for
beat.
dogs.
To say all it is just nonstop. I keep running into like the same decks that are just all about taking out my Steel Song stuff, and I'm like, this isn't for dogs.
Yeah, yeah. Well, let's actually, since you're shouting out your game store, I'm gonna shout out mine.
Yeah, do it. Let's see it.
Let me see here. Let me see if I can. Hold on. I need to do this and reshare because I got to do. Here we go. This one. Share.
You got a
Add a
sneak peek in
stage.
it
Here
with
we
me.
go. So I mentioned that my local game store was moving, and so I was able to play there for the first time on Monday night. And this is the front counter. It's like a 30-foot counter. It's pretty awesome.
It's clean. That
It's
is
very
clean.
clean. This, and you can see this sign here in the corner. This Kingslayer Fountain Valley 3.0. This is the third location they've had, and this is their 4-phase game plan. We're still in like phase 0.5 or phase 1 here, because as you can see in these other photos, it looks nice. Here's the wall opposite the front counter. This is one of the play areas here. And then this is the rest of the store from that corner. They have room for 104 players without making any changes to the layout right now as it stands. And if you'll notice in this photo, this area right over here, this little glassed in area here, this is going to be their feature match room. It's got a table in it. They're going to set up a camera setup and everything, and they're going to do streaming and feature matches from this for events. So they've got a lot of big plans for this store, and making it like a premier destination for playing games in Southern California. So that's going to be pretty cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I got a question for you because you know where I usually stay when I'm in California. And
Yes.
how close is this to Disneyland?
It's about, from Disneyland, it's probably about a 20 to 30-minute drive, depending on traffic.
And if I ditch my family and walk, how long of a walk is it?
No, what you do if you want to go, you message me and be like, hey, it's evening or it's the weekend and I want to play some games. Let's go head out to that store and I'll come pick you up and we'll go play some games.
Yeah, oh, there we go. I'll tell the wife, you know what? Some podcast fans are out here and they want to do a meet and greet. I got to go and see them. I know. I really wish I could just stay here with you guys after that 20-hour drive. Oh,
Gotta shake some hands and kiss some babies, right?
yeah. Shake some babies and kiss some hands.
Whatever works.
Whatever order.
Whatever works. So yeah, it was fun. Speaking of, just before we get into all the other big news, small news, I went undefeated again at locals for the third week in a row.
So, quick question for me personally: when does your Metafy guide come out?
My Metafy guide would be just like, go play a lot, watch DLCs, and listen to what people like Frank Karsten and Zan Syed and the other good players say about how to play well. And then when you sit down to play, get lucky. You know,
And
have your opponent brick at least one of the 3 games if you go to 3 games. Have them miss ramp if they're playing blue. You know, something like that. That's how you win easily.
I guess you've also been playing your colors for a while.
Yeah.
Whereas I've made the mistake of, I think I change my colors every set or 2.
I've changed a lot, but I've played purple steel fairly often over the last 5 or 6 sets. I usually go back to either that or green purple or ruby amethyst almost every time if I switch to something else. But those 3 are typically the ones I play and go back and forth between.
I guess that helps. Is like it's like if you're not playing green purple, then you're playing purple steel
Right.
or red purple. So I'm
Right.
like, yeah,
Right.
that definitely helps when you're constantly playing at least one of the same colors. Where it's
Yes.
I've gone Baja, I've gone green steel, so I stuck with it a little, and then I've gone ruby amethyst and amber steel.
So now with what's the results we're going to see in the uh, DLC and whatnot, I might be switching to Steel Song because that was actually the original deck I played back in set 1 and 2.
Good,
So
it was good back then.
yeah, and it's pretty good now in the current meta. I think it's got some good matchups. So I'm just trying to figure out a way, because the one that was taken to the DLC and Sky's version that was taken to CCS, they were for the meta, but I think that the meta has shifted, and now a lot more people, of course, are going to be playing Steel Song and things like that. So I think that we're going to have the resurgence and the return. We're going to have a repeat because I think
Not
Pete
just a
is back.
Pete, but a repeat.
We're going to have a repeat. So I think that Pete needs to be made room into the deck, and I think that some kind of item removal needs to make it in with Benja or whatever you may choose. Hopefully, Mowgli is hitting the items, but you know, it won't always. You want to be able to get rid of them when they do play them. If they pull it and then play it on the same turn, there's nothing you can do. So you got to play your Benjas.
You want to know a terrible feeling? I will tell you one of the worst feelings I had. I'm loading up my board. I'm playing against Ruby Amber. I'm practicing. I'm grinding out games. I'm feeling really good. And then on my turn, all right, I'm probably like 5 or 6 wide for characters here, and I've been chipping away at their stuff a little bit by a little bit. And then I go Mowgli. And I look and they have that Raging Storm card.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yoink, adios, amigo. And I'm like, next hand, I draw. I already had a dock in hand still. Next hand, I draw, I ink, and I throw down, or maybe it was a song, I can't remember, but I throw down, yeah, that's what it was. I Storm Raged on, took out something, drew off Ariel, inked the Nani that I got, threw down the dock, drew 2 cards. It was Doc and Mowgli. Maybe I didn't ink the Nani. Anyways, I threw down. That's what it was. I inked the Mowgli because I just got rid of their Raging Storm a turn before.
Right.
Threw down the dock, drew 2 more cards, and it was like Chief Powhatan.
Yeah. Nice.
And another Ariel, I believe. And I was like, whatever, we got this. At this point, I'm like 8 or 9 wide. Easy game. We're gonna quest out and destroy them. I quest, I pass, and they go quest, Raging Storm. And I'm like,
you got to be prepared. You got to be prepared
like,
for them to have it every time.
I'm like, who is playing this ketchup mustard garbage deck? Get it out of my face now.
Not a garbage deck. Okay, so let's go start talking about.
I hate it so much.
We'll talk about that later because that did make its presence known. But let's get into news. We'll go right from. Oh, by the way, I was playing Purple Steel all 3 weeks. This last week, I beat 3 mirror matches to go 3-0. So that was awesome. But let's talk news today. We already knew this was coming. The Bell what is it? Bell Hidden Archer? Hidden Archer playmat. That is an exclusive to Ravensburger's store here and in Europe. Is available starting tomorrow, but they are doing something special. They are doing one of these Run Fair EQL launches where you have to sign up over this weekend, and if you win, you immediately get it charged and shipped to you. If you lose, you're sad. Go ahead and head to the website for all the full details. But as you'll notice, some of the countries are not eligible. Not eligible for Mexico, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, or any other territory. But just legal in, so there's the United States one, and Switzerland and EU territories over in the EU. So even the UK is not getting it. They are having their own sale on the Ravensburger UK site. So basically in fact, let's go ahead and click on this. You're going to just basically head to the website, click on this link if you're in the US or EU, whichever one. Pick where you are. Let's accept all the cookies. Why not? And it'll say upcoming launches. It launches tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. And if you click into it, you can see it tells you what it's all about. It gives you the price. It's $24.99 US with a $2.99 fee. And the only thing that it doesn't tell us is what our limit is on how many we can buy. I'm assuming it's 1 because they haven't said anything otherwise. But it seems like this is going to be fairly limited because it says right at the very beginning, limited quantities are available. And at the very end, it says, will this be restocked? No, it will not be restocked. This sale is it. So this is basically a repeat of the foil playmat that was available at the parks. It will be available for sale and then go away.
Wanted that foil playmat so bad, but apparently not bad enough.
Yep. No, you should have flown down to Disneyland and just,
Camped
done
out.
whatever you needed to get to the front of the line.
Camped out, even though I'm pretty sure they don't let you camp out in downtown Disney.
No, they don't. You have to camp out essentially by standing on the sidewalk nearby. That's apparently what people did.
Wow.
I don't know. Something. There was like multiple people with different, whatever. Anyway, this is what's going on with the Bell playmat. It is a very nice playmat. I was very fortunate that Ravensburger sent me one to open and look at and review. And my review is it's beautiful. Let me see. I have stuff on it. But let me see if I can get it up here. Dun, dun. Here we go. Now I've got to move everything. Got to move my keyboard. Ooh, here we are. Ta-da! Whoops, just knocked down a bunch of cards. There we go.
Very nice.
So if you have gotten mats recently, you know that they're very smooth. If you got mats way back in sets 1, 2, 3 era, that they were a little rough. These are definitely smoother than the older ones. So I think they're a higher quality than they used to be.
And stitching when?
Right. Well, stitching was on the foil mat, but they are not on these mats, the normal mats, I guess you could call them.
There was stitching on the first set champs mat too.
Was there? I never won.
Yeah,
one.
there was Rockstar.
Oh my goodness! Nice. You got me.
That is how it's done. That was not even pre-written or anything. That was on the fly, baby.
Nice. Well done.
And that's showbiz, baby.
So anyway, that's the mat. It's awesome. If you are interested in it, definitely join in on the sale. You have from tomorrow morning, Friday, March 13th, when we're recording this, so this will be out sometime, probably that day. You have from 6 a.m. Pacific until Sunday evening at 6 p.m. or 9 p.m. Pacific. I don't know. Why did they do this? It starts at 9 a.m. Eastern, but it ends on 9 p.m. Pacific. Someone's having fun writing things.
So 6 a.m. tomorrow, but then 6 p.m. Wait.
9 p.m. on...
No.
Just do this. If you want it, enter before Sunday. You can
There you go.
start signing up on Friday. Sign up on Friday or Saturday. Don't worry about Sunday. Also, there is no benefit to when you actually sign up. It's going to be completely random. So if you're the first person in, you may still not get one because it is going to be random. If you're the last person in and you get one, great. It works for you. If you sign up at 8:59 on Sunday night because you forgot until then.
I guess that would be what, midnight if you're on the East Coast.
Yes, midnight.
So why not just put,
Yeah, I don't know.
why?
I don't know. But anyway, this is
I mean,
available.
us West Coasters are smart enough. We know how to swap around time zones. Come on,
Yeah, we do.
make it easy for the East Coasters.
Yeah. All right. That's it for that.
I'm joking. I love you guys on the East Coast.
Let's talk about Ghent. DLC
Yeah.
Ghent was last weekend. It was the largest Disney Lorcana event to date with 4,000 participants. Plus some attendees. I think there was over 4,000 people there. But look at this. This is like an airport, like an airline hangar or something. This thing is massive. Everything happened in one room, I think, except for like maybe the VIP lounger or something like that. So if you notice at the very bottom of this screenshot, if you're looking, there are some white chairs. This was the viewing area. So there was a TV, a giant screen somewhere under this camera where people would sit and watch the events. And everything happened out in the back there. You can see all the banners and whatnot. This was a very cool event to watch. Personally, I think it might have been the most well-produced event that Disney Lorcana has done to date. It was very well done. They had matches going regularly where they would switch to a secondary match if the first one ended early enough. They had a lot of things to do in between with like games and chat, the commentators chatting, the casters. All of the casters did a great job. It was, of course, our hosts, Rebecca and Baker. And then the casters were, what's his name? Wasi? And Kim, and new caster Jen, and Spessy.
Oh, nice.
And they all did a great job. Jen did a great job for her first time. I really enjoyed the casting she did. Kim, if you watched her on a previous DLC, I know some people had issues with her, but I feel like she leveled up her game quite a bit. And that was mainly, I know for some reason people had a problem with her being excited. It's like, why? It's like if you're watching a fun game, like why not be excited about it?
Yeah.
But I think she definitely did a lot more talking about the gameplay and offering a lot of good insights. So everyone did a great job, and it was very fun to watch. It was starting at midnight my time, and so therefore I started watching it at midnight, and then of course fell asleep, and then woke up around round 5, and then fell asleep again and woke up around somewhere in round 6, and then I watched the rest of it each day.
Well, you did better than I did. I thought I would catch it because I'm like, oh, that's perfect timing. Everyone will be asleep. I'm usually up late. I'll throw it on, and somehow I missed all of it. And I woke up to notifications on my phone saying Disney Lorcana has gone live at midnight, and I went, oh, that's
And it was
terrible.
done.
I missed it.
Yeah, it
By
was
the
done
time I
like
woke
at
up,
10 a.m.
yeah. I'm like, by the time I wake up, kids are in my room. I'm like, okay, I got to get the kids breakfast. I got to do this, got to do all this running around. Now I'm ready to watch. Oh, it's over.
All right. Speaking of the meta, the breakdown, here we have all of the Friday decks, and you will notice that Amethyst Steel, not Blurple, was taken as the number 1 deck, 26% of the field, 23% Blurple, and only 14.5% Amber Emerald. The dogs were not well represented to start, let's say, for the field.
Now, hold on here. If you look over here on the right-hand side,
yes,
we got 2 colors here, Amber and Ruby.
yes,
With a staggering 15 people.
Not even 1% of the field.
And then if you look on the left-hand side here, Amber
Yeah.
Steel, 87%.
Yes.
Why are you guys playing this Amber Ruby deck? Why are you doing it?
Well, because they thought it would be good into the meta, right?
Mm-hmm.
You got to feel that at least a few of those people were like building for the meta, and the rest
Mm-hmm.
of them were like, I love these colors. I'm going to play it until the end of time. That's about it. Look at that, though. We had 3 brave souls in each of the colors of Emerald Ruby and Emerald Steel. That is so low, but it's better than some of the recent. I think in Melbourne, I don't think they even had an Emerald Steel deck show up. So
Oh, Emerald
at least
Steel
it's
in
not
Melbourne.
0. But as you can see, Ruby is all on the right side, which means not a single bit of Ruby deck, even Ruby Amethyst, made more than 4% of the meta, which is kind of sad, but it's kind of indicative of where Ruby is at currently.
Yeah.
But I was also a little upset about how low Amethyst Emerald is, because usually Europe really shows up with Amethyst Emerald, but barely, like 50 decks. That's it. So when we go to day 2 of Friday, these are the representation, the conversion rates. And as you can see, with the exception of Ruby Amethyst, every Ruby deck comes through at 0. And then the control decks, Amber Sapphire and Emerald Sapphire, both show up very little. The main thing that we're seeing on this is the very good conversion rate of Amethyst Emerald at 14%. With only 50 decks, they had a decent amount in there. But Amber Emerald converted at 22%, Blurple at 18%, and Amethyst Steel also all the way down at 14%, starting as a quarter of the field and dropped to 14%. Or had 14% conversion, whatever these numbers mean. It's low. It was bad. Amethyst Steel got demolished in this event. And that was my pick, too.
I mean, Amethyst Emerald shot right up.
Yeah. They basically
but
met in the middle with how well they did.
But I do want to say, once again, you Ruby players, what are you doing? Just stop playing Ruby. Stop it. You're better than that. Come on.
And then Saturday, this is the percentage that showed up. And again, Amethyst Steel was number 1. Amber Emerald at least showed up a little bit more with 18 instead of 14%. But again, we had less than 1% of Ruby Steel, Emerald Ruby, Emerald Steel. Only add 1%. Not bad. Only 2% Amber Ruby. Is that more than or less than? That is more than the Friday event by 1%. So about 30 decks showed up on Saturday in Amber Ruby. And then the conversion rates on Saturday, Amethyst Steel finally did its job. Amber Emerald did much better, of course. Ruby Amethyst did really well. Sapphire Steel did really well. And everything else was kind of just filling in the rest there. Amber Ruby, 12%. A lot of those 2% converted really well. 1 or 2 made it through, basically, to day 2. So if you haven't been paying attention, you might now know what happened. And that's basically Amber Emerald dogs dominated the event. You can see at the Friday deck lists, here's our top 8. And it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dogs lists and 3 blurples. So basically, this is exactly what you would expect when dogs are a decent, an okay size of the event, but that blurple is a large amount. And then a bunch of people try and beat dogs because it's the best deck. And then all those decks that are built to beat dogs lose to blurple. So now blurple is sitting here at the top along with the dogs, and the dogs beat blurple. So
yeah, exactly.
This is what you have. And the same thing happens on the Saturday with, this was even worse. In the top 8, you had, shockingly, an Emerald Sapphire a Steel Song, and then, wow, look, a purple Steel made it through. And then 5 Dogs decks. So we had in the top 8s of both, 10 out of the 16 decks were Dogs. And then the rest were a mix of other things. Now this is funny because this deck here, that's Steel Song, is Diego Saz, who kind of was like one of the originators of the Amber Emerald list. And he brought the deck that he thought would be the best into it to beat it. And of course, he proved himself right. He had a horrible top 4. He drew really bad, and I think that's the main reason he lost, was just poor draw, bad. His deck really fought against him, it seemed. But I think it was Heath in our chat who pointed out that Diego is probably the best converting DLC player out there, because he's competed in 4 DLCs, and he has 3 golden Mickeys. That's pretty good. That's a good hit rate. Yeah. But the final was David versus Zan, an Amber Emerald mirror match. And I must say, as someone who watched all 5 games, because it went to 5 games, that it was not an enjoyable finale. It was, what the Amber Emerald mirrors are. It's who gets under the sea first. And I mean, one of the 3 games, I can't remember which one, doesn't matter, but the person who played under the sea first, the opponent scooped and said, let's go next game, and nobody had any lore. That's how dominant this deck is when in the mirror and you play under the sea first. There's no comeback. And in one of the other games, it was 2-0, and they scooped when they got under the sea, played against them, and they went to next game. And that's not fun to watch. I mean, no. At all. And I think that's the main problem with this deck, is that it's not a great deck to play against, and the mirrors especially are just brutal in how they go. And I've heard a lot of people mention that, hey, we need bans. We need to get rid of Under the Sea, or we need to get rid of Tramp, or if we're going to get rid of something from here, we need to get rid of something from purple as well, because purple is overpowered too. And if you get rid of Tramp, then all the purple decks are going to be way overpowered according to to everyone else. But I think that what a lot of people are pointing out is that still, if you go back and you look at the meta share, Amber Emerald was less than 20% of the field in each. And people were bringing the same Blurple decks in large quantities that beat everything that beats Dogs. If the Blurple players had just brought something that beats Dogs instead of Blurple, this would have been a completely different meta game, I think. Mm-hmm. If 10% of them had brought something different, this is different.
So basically what you're saying is that for now, people just need to start bringing something that beats Dogs.
I mean, obviously, at a DLC, that seems to be what you would want to do. You want something that goes into Dogs well and has some kind of good matchup into at least one of these other meta decks. You don't want it to be only good into Dogs, because if people continue bringing Dogs in such a low amount, you're not going to make it through the 9 or 12 rounds, whatever it is, to get there, because you'll get beat by everything that people are still bringing in large quantities. But Diego brought Amber Steel and made it to top 4. Lucas, I'm not sure his last name's Koopa. He brought Amber Ruby and made it into, I think it was either top 32 or top 16 with Amber Ruby. Let's look at here. It's in, which day is it? I think it's in Saturday. Let me scroll down here. Is it in here? I don't see it anywhere in here. Maybe it's this one. No, I don't see it. He made it in somewhere in there. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe he just made day 2. But he made it pretty far with Amber Ruby. And that's a deck that just, kind of eats dogs and has no problem with them, with all the removal and big characters and nothing that gets hit by Under the Sea, basically. So, but that was the meta game. I mean, you have any thoughts about it overall?
Well, I was gonna take a look at this other Steel Song deck that got third and maybe make some changes to what I'm playing.
Yeah. So
But
yeah, I would say take a look at this one. The what do you say? This deck here, this Steel Song up top here. Where is it? Diego's list. So Diego went with the draw engine being Gargoyles, the Goliath, as a 6-drop.
see, and that's what I actually just did a swap out on. Is I was using Sky's deck, and then I was like, you know what? I don't like this Vanessa. I hardly ever use it. I'd way rather use Troubadour. And I pulled Vanessa out and threw in 2 Goliaths.
Mm-hmm.
That helped for a bit. And then I've also thought about doing this Mickey, but then I'm like, what's the point in the Mickey other than giving everything +2?
Right. Which is
Which,
nice, but that's not really what you're really worried about with this deck.
no, I'm not really worried about them being able to take a hit because most of the time people are either clearing the board or putting it into my inkwell.
Right.
I thought about putting in Raging Storm myself because I had a Blurple matchup where they kept inking everything I had to the point that I had 7 ink, and I was like, if if I ink the card that's in my hand and draw Raging Storm at this point, I could wipe their board and we're back to square one, which I can win from square one. But I cannot win when they got 6 characters on the board and they just keep inking everything I play.
Yeah. So if you take a look at their lists for Sky's list and Diego's list, they're pretty similar. I mean, they have almost all the same cards.
Just not the Rhino.
Right. The Rhino is different. And the draw engine with now obviously they all have docks and nannies.
Yeah.
But
There's
Goliath is used in Diego's,
no
and
Ariel.
Ariel is used in Sky's, right? Yeah, in Sky's list was Ariel. And so because Sky was using the Ariel, he also has the Della's Moon Lullaby, a 2 of, to add just a couple more songs to hit. He also is playing 4 Chiefs, which I thought was awesome.
Yep.
Since I got to reveal that card.
Maybe I'll have to hybrid.
That's what I did. The one I built is basically I had to take out some stuff, so I went down to 2 Chiefs. I'm using basically I started with the Goliath list. Sorry, the Ariel list. I took out 2 Chiefs. I threw in a couple Pete's. I went down to 3 on He Hurled and put in a couple of the Ancient Ways song to stop items and actions being played.
Yeah.
And I took out the Ursula, like you said.
Yeah.
It's at 61 cards right now, because I didn't want to remove anything else. But I think that it's definitely something where you want to tune it a bit to your local meta. I threw in 1 Goliath just to have something at the top end in case I needed to have some emergency draw.
That was my thought too. Is I think the Goliath's better for the emergency draw, but then at the same time they're getting to draw.
Yeah, that's the only problem I have with it is they're getting to draw. So it's like an emergency. Oh, I have to find some cards to try and get this game going. But there is, if you do it right, there is enough draw in this, where you can, sing something, draw with Ariel. If the song you're singing is Akud or Della's, you're getting a card from that. You may draw into the dock, be able to ink something, throw down the dock, get 2 more cards, lob a snowball if you have Angel out to hit something. Just like so many different ways you can combo.
I mean, end of the day, if they get a couple extra cards and you're at, you're kind of, what is it? It's if it's the 3 card thing that always gets me. On that one, is it if both of you have 3 cards or is it just you?
Oh, the Stone by Day?
Yeah.
It's if you have 3 cards, then your Gargoyles can't ready.
I was gonna say, and that's the only negative thing to me is like it should be, if your opponent also has 3 cards, then they should also just, because it's like, Well, they get to draw. Oh no, they have to discard. That's what it is.
Yeah, they
They
discard
have
down to
more
2.
than. So it's like if you could get that out, if you could get that out very very early, like I'm talking grandmother Willow Troubadour singing Akuda at Moody, and you could get it out very early. You could have them dump in their hand before you're worried about it because your hand's essentially gone with Steel Song very early on.
Right. I mean, yeah, I mean, he's a 6 cost.
Mhm,
So if you're on turn 3, you have 3 ink. And if
mhm.
you have a Grandma Willow out and sing a Cood, that's 3 more that you have cost
Yeah,
reduction. So you can get it out on turn 3,
yeah.
which would be
Which I
crazy.
it would be hilarious to watch your opponent be like, "Yeah, so," and then it's like, "You've got to get rid of 3 cards, buddy,
Yeah,
before the end of your turn." Like, maybe even 4 with a draw, so I'm like, "That could be good."
that could be. But the Chief is obviously a great card now in this deck
Mhm,
because you can't challenge, so he's basically your designated singer. So you don't
mhm.
put your aerial at risk if you don't want to.
Yep,
So and it's a 5/5 body, so it's going to take out a lot of stuff when they try and challenge into it to try and get to your other cards if they have to challenge to do it. So
mhm.
it just feels like it's a really good, just really good play lines. You can chain so many things and play so many things out if you get them in the right order. So it's a
Mhm.
lot of fun to play.
Yeah.
But okay,
So good.
so the next thing they did is on Saturday morning or midnight our time. They revealed most of the details about the North American and European championships coming our way. And there is now an article up on the website with all of the details that we have so far. The links there for Fanfinity will take you to their website for the challenge. There's one for the North American Championship. And this is interesting. Fanfinity is running the championships,
Mhm.
not Pastimes. Pastimes would be running it in North America because they've run all the DLCs, but they are not running the championship.
Yeah.
That is interesting news.
Are they not using pastimes anymore after
We
great
don't know. We just
after
know that
all
they're
the DLCs
yeah.
being in one
We
coast?
just know they're not using them for the challenge in North America. That's the only thing we do know for sure.
Interesting.
Uh, so again, all the news is on the website, and so it is August 28th through 30th at the Disneyland Hotel, which is
Mhm.
where it was last time. The LCQ tickets are $110, and the attendee tickets are $50. And this is, I think, not. It's an increase. I think the LCQs were $90 last time, and attendees I think were still 50. They might have been 40, but they weren't much different.
Okay.
The European is again at Disneyland Paris at the Disney Newport Bay Club on September 11th through the 13th, and that is 110 euros and 50 euros for that. And then we have on sale dates for EU is March 21st, and for the North America it is March 22nd. So that is in just over a week from right now.
I mean, what if I go and buy one and then I end up winning in Calgary? Then what do I do? Then I already got it. I don't need to worry about.
No, you just get an invite to this. If you buy a
Mm,
ticket, just get your ticket refunded.
there we go.
Yeah. They also have QR codes on the stream for hotel blocks, where you can get hotel rooms and park tickets at a discount rate, or at least I don't know if it's a super discount rate, but it is some kind of rate. It's Disney, so it's a rate.
Oh, somebody's going to be irate.
Yeah. Okay, so what do you get if you're going? Every attendee and LCQ participant will be getting a lanyard, 160 prize wall tickets, a tote bag, 2 Attack of the Vine booster packs, and a standout non-foil promo. And that's your first indication of what one of the promos we're getting for the championship.
But
Uh,
what does 160 prize tickets get to?
you know what? Who knows? It's like basically, I think it's enough to get you like another pack or 2 of cards. If you go by, I don't know what they did, but I think in Europe, I think it was like 18,000 tickets got you a jumbo card. Something, I don't know what I don't know. It's a lot.
You're
We'll
saying
find
this
out.
jumbo card behind me is worth 18,000 tickets?
Actually, the jumbo cards they had were smaller.
Oh.
There's a lot of Disney Lorcana activities that will be on site with tickets. You will be able to access all side events. Of course, all the side events will be paid events for like pack rushes and smaller constructed tournaments, sealed events, drafts, all those things. There will be collection quests, which what they've been doing is they do the kind of like booklet thing that you have to do some kind of tasks, and you can get promos. Now, I think they changed it up after the first one in Richmond. In Ghent, they were only doing event promos like Aladdin and Dumbo. In Richmond, they were doing like OP promos as well.
Okay.
But also, they were giving away challenge promos like the Let It Go non-foil promo. So they were doing a lot of cool stuff. There will be a Ravensburger sales booth, so you can be able to buy puzzles and games and Lorcana. A special live Lorecast, and meet and greets with artists, developers, and Disney characters, which is what they did at the last championship. They had those, and Mickey, I think, was the only character. But it says characters, so we might get more than just Mickey. Minnie. So here's the first promo. It is the standout card with new art by Kendall Hale. Looks very cool. This will be the one that is handed out. The non-foil is handed out to all participants, and the foil version is handed out to all LCQ participants.
Shout out to Kendall Hale, friend of the show.
Yeah. Next up, we have Down in New Orleans. It will be one of the promos available. New art by Grace Tran. Very cool looking card. We have the Headless Horseman, the 8-cost steel card. Jared Matthews does the art on this one. This card is very cool looking as well.
My second favorite, Jared.
Yeah. And then the final new promo that is being handed out is Tinkerbell Insistent Fairy, new art by Coney. It seems like Coney, I think Coney did the Baymax last year for the championship. She either did the Baymax or the Cusco. I can't remember which, but she has done 2 of the championship promo cards now. But how are you going to get these? That I can tell you by going down and looking at what everybody gets here. The participant is the foil standout. The top 64 will get Down in New Orleans foil promo and a Down in New Orleans playmat. Top 32 will get a Headless Horseman foil promo and a playmat. Top 16 will get the foil Tinkerbell. So those are all of your top prizes. And
that Headless Horseman looks so good.
Yeah. And then main event, top 8 is going to get a Mickey and a World Championship invite. So this is main event pricing, not LCQ pricing, by the way. This is only main event. Top 4 will be getting a foil super rare uncut sheet. Top 2 will be getting a full foil set plus enchanteds and epics. And then the champion of the championship will get a foil enchanted uncut sheet and a trophy. That enchanted uncut sheet's going to be pretty awesome looking, I think.
Yeah.
On the prize wall at the event, there will be non-foil promos for all of the new promos, Standout, Down in New Orleans, Headless Horseman, Tinkerbell, as well as all the existing ones from this season, Dragonfire, Let It Go, Mulan, Simba, Elsa, and Pegasus. And on the prize wall will also be both of the playmats, Mulan and Simba, an uncut sheet of non-foil rares, and the Elsa pin and the DLC hat, as well as various DLC products from a wide range of sets. So there will be basically boosters and troves and all those kinds of things available on the prize wall.
Beauty.
And that is all of the championship news. Let's go back to the page, and you can see there's a little bit more on this. Here's the format. Sets 9 through 13 is legal. Now we know that North America is August 26th, and we know that sets are legal as soon as they come out.
Mhm.
But I'm pretty sure they wouldn't release set 13 the same weekend they're doing a championship. So that means we know that set 13, Attack of the Vine, is coming out most likely a minimum of 1 week before August 26th. I'm assuming it's going to come out either the same weekend or before D23, which is 2 weeks earlier,
Uh-uh.
which is on like the 13th or the 14th, something like that.
Yeah. I was gonna say, because what was it? It was August 19th was the original release, was it not?
For which one?
Like the first set.
Um, yeah, it was in the middle of August, but they released it early at Gen Con, which is also 2 weeks
Yeah.
before D23. And we know they're doing a CCQ at Gen Con.
I'd say, yeah, probably August 14th.
So either they're going to release it with Gen Con or they're going to release it with D23, but it's definitely going to be before the championship of August 26th, in my opinion.
Hmm.
The NA championship will have 136 players, 96 qualified from challenges, 24 from CCQs, and 16 from the LCQ, which we should talk about that real quick. The format of the LCQ first. 1,000 players, 1,024, 2 pods, not 32 player pods, but 2 512 player pods. Single elimination from the start. You have to win 6 rounds, and the top 8 from each pod goes into the main event. 16 players total. That is a rough road.
This is yeah.
You have to go 6-0 on Friday, so then you can play in the championship on Saturday.
But if you go 6-0, you know your deck's good.
Yeah, right? There you go. And then in the EU, because they are having the 2 events with 4,000 players, and they have the essentially two DLCs mixed into one DLC, like they did in Ghent, they're going to have more players at the EU Championship, which means 160 are qualified from challenge events, almost double what North America gets. So not only did we get only 3 DLCs in North America, but we don't even get as many players qualified to go to the championship.
Yeah.
I mean, they're still gonna give the same number of invites to the World Championship.
Yeah.
But all the players in the EU have more chances to get there.
As you say,
or people who travel.
It's kind of, you're like, oh yes, I got more chance, but then it's like, but you have to go up against more people to try and get farther ahead. So
Now this
I
is
don't know.
This is interesting for the actual schedule of the main event. It's 9 rounds of Swiss best of 3, and only the top 16 go to day 2 out of either 136 or 200 players. Then in day 2, it's all best of 5, single elimination. Top 8 of each event go to the World Championship. So if you make day 2, you have to win your first round to go to the World Championship. So imagine being one of those 16 and being one of the 8 people who do not win that round.
Oh,
that's rough.
I can't imagine it when I do it.
But what you want to do is, I guess you want to have the best record possible in Swiss, because of those top 8, there may be some players who already have a World Championship and the invite gets passed down. So you want to do really well in Swiss if you're one of these players, because if 1 or 2 pass downs happen, you have to have the best record, so you're in 9th place to get that pass down.
True.
So it's going to be an interesting. It's going to be fun. It's going to definitely be fun watching.
Yeah.
But yeah, all the information is up on the website. There is a news article now for all the links and questions and everything else. That's about it. I think that's all the major news, unless you can remember anything else that got revealed.
I can think of.
I mean, it feels like it was been forever, but it was only just because Ghent was like most of the weekend and was watching so much of it.
Yeah, me too. uh, well, I guess I will just wrap it up then with a actually give you guys a little bit of homework. What deck would you recommend I swap to?
instead of Steel Song.
I don't know. It's not going good lately. It's not going good. I gotta find something and just lock in and crush like 500 games before next month.
I mean, you just got to go look at. I mean, let's go look here. Do we have?
I gotta beat dogs.
You got to beat dogs, right?
Gotta be the biggest thing I gotta beat is dogs. But then when I was playing Baja, I had no problem beating dogs. I had a problem beating everything else. And it's like,
Right.
what's going on here? And I just never drew what I needed. And I'm like,
Win rate matrix. Let's go look. Let's see what's beating dogs right now in the current
Hmm.
winter spell meta.
Oh,
Thanks to
that's neat.
inkdex.com. Amber Emerald. Amethyst Steel is beating Amber Emerald.
Hmm.
And Amethyst Ruby.
And
Amber Steel is having
Ruby.
a hard time.
Yeah, I could tell you that much. Looks like Amber Steel's having a hard time with a lot of things.
Ruby Steel, 62% win rate. There you go. There's your 3 decks to pick from. Ruby Amethyst, Amethyst Steel, Ruby Steel. Other ones that have a higher win rate would be Amber Ruby. Look at that. Amber Ruby. That's why they brought it, because it has at least a 50-50. Ruby Sapphire. There's a Ruby Sapphire deck going around that looks really interesting. And it's, believe it or not, you're gonna this is crazy. It's playing Kristoff's Loot. You're like, what? What the heck? What are you talking about? Yeah, Kristoff's Loot. You're like, I don't know what you're talking about, man. What even does that card do, right?
I don't recall it being great.
So here we go. Kristoff's Loot, uninkable item. You exert and spend 2 to reveal the top of card of your deck, and you may play it as if it were in your hand, otherwise put it in your discard. When you start your turn on Ruby Sapphire and you've inked up to like 10 or 12 ink, you can spend 2 ink to look at your top card and decide if you want to play it before you do anything else. It's basically paying 2 for card draw. I mean,
what's even better too is if you had a Moana on board and you use this, then you just pull it right back out and put it into your inkwell.
Into your inkwell. Exactly. The deck does play Moanas as well. Yeah, it's basically ramp it up, and it's playing all the big hits. Pete, Cindy, your ramp package. It is playing. So because it's playing Pete, and it doesn't want to do too many of the uninkables, and also you don't want to be doing too much of the ramping for your opponents. So it actually, maybe don't play very many Hades or Let It Goes or any, because if you're playing this new Pete, the one that lets you basically, depending on how many cards you have, but basically what you're doing is you're playing Develop Your Brain every time he quests. Once he's boosted. But let's go ahead and go back to set 5 and play this Pete Steamboat Rival that lets you banish a character when you have another Pete in play. This is basically like playing another Maleficent Dragon, which is also in this deck. I'm not saying it's good. It might be. It works well when it works. It's another one of those high roll decks that if you get the stuff in a row, you can really take over the game. But the other thing that it plays that really makes this work is it plays the Lonely Grave item that lets you banish a character and then put a boost under. So if you have a Pete out, when you banish something of your own, you can boost it for free. And you play Wreck-It Ralph.
Yep.
Because
I ran into this deck.
That allows you to get board wiped. But all of your characters, you're playing a bunch of 4 and 5 strength characters that don't get wiped on the 3 strength that the Ralph has.
I ran into this deck with my Steel Song, and I went, "Yeah, okay, go ahead and play your Ralph. I'm not going to exert anything, and I'm just going to keep loading at my board until I quest." And then all of a sudden, they slap down Lonely Grave, and I'm like, "What does that even do?"
Yep.
And
It's a great combo, and when you combine it with the single target removal with the Peats and the Maleficent Dragons, and you combine it with the ramp package, and then you have a bunch of questers that can do 2 with like Headless Horseman and Moana and the Maleficent Dragon. You have a bunch of 2 questers and the 3 quester Ralph. Sometimes you let them stay on the board. You don't need to banish something right away if you're winning the board, right? You can close out the game. But one of the fun things you can do is throw in one of these bad boys, the brand new Tamatoa that has Ward. And whenever you throw a card under another character or this character, it gets an extra lore. So if you have a Pete and a Tamatoa out, he can quest for 3. Another game closer.
oh man,
It's got a lot of functionality, but again, it's a high roll. You got to get the pieces out, and you have to control the board early, so you have time to build it.
Mhm, mhm.
So it's a fun deck. That's all I got. All right, now we can end the show.
All right. Well, that's your homework. Tell me what I should play. And yeah, thank you for tuning in and joining us on this magical journey. We'll see you again next time.